Hi, I was making a review of Yuki Yuna as a hero because that's next on my list of dark magical girl shows and blah blah blah, but for some god only knows reason, I decided to watch Maho Shoujo Magical Destroyers and I hated every goddamn second of it. When the first episode came out, people were praising it, especially the opening because it slaps so hard, from the music to the eye-catching imagery of the first half to the mindfuck digital surrealism of the second half. The first episode and a half weren't the worst either, but as the show goes on, it collapses in on itself under the weight of tired tropes and stupid bullshit that's just there to sound smart even though it isn't. People call this a sleeper hit or a hidden masterpiece, and I feel part of my soul die. Plot summary is, in 2008, everything dubbed otaku culture is rounded up. Everyone considered an otaku is taken prisoner by a new regime of kitty-faced soldiers following the orders of TV head. Also, he brainwashes all of Japan, which comes up like twice later on. Years later, there's a small rebellion of otaku who want to like what they like as much as they like, led by Otaku Hero. That's the only name he's ever given. He also has 3 magical girls who follow him around like lost puppies and do all the cool action scenes for him. There's Anarchy, a punk bitch who doesn't give a shit, Blue, who's constantly horny and that is her entire joke, and Pink, who's super into drugs and only says gobo. With the whole plot surrounding otaku and otaku culture, you would think there would be some kind of commentary on that or something. And there actually is a kind of interesting idea thrown around in one episode where older otaku feel a bit of culture whiplash from how people in the modern era express their love for stuff so openly. And explore how the same subculture evolves over time and how that causes generational divides and infighting in groups that are essentially the same. But it doesn't go anywhere. And also there are these kids who are trying to get their respective dads to come home because these men are married with children that they're neglecting to hide out in ruined buildings with their buddies to enjoy anime? And they objectively suck? One dad keeps calling his daughter the name of an anime character when that isn't her fucking name! And the little boy gets called Mami-chan, which is a feminine name and also not his fucking name. The plot of the episode is the older otaku and the younger otaku resolve their differences by holding a swim meet, which means swimsuits and whatever, but the kids are forced into it, and the little boy is made to wear a girl swimsuit, and he's super embarrassed, and he falls over, and the camera does this, and the crowd does this, and I fucking hate this! And by the end of the episode, the little girl stops fussing at her dad for calling her the wrong name because he was right all along, I guess, and I'm so fucking angry! What the fuck? Speaking of which, is anyone gonna talk about how otaku culture sometimes objectifies women to a terrifying degree? No? Well, alright then, because as a woman who likes anime, shocking, I know, I can't help but feel uncomfortable when they are reduced to sex objects. And that is clearly something the show is trying to invoke, right? I mean, the opening has these figures of naked girls everywhere, and the ending theme literally has the magical girls taking care of the otaku hero on a beach while other versions of themselves are washed up in provocative manners, and there are these cute cutaway shots that are leaning into the voyeurism, and then we literally see a pile of these girls clamoring and reaching for otaku hero as the main magical girls come down to him like an angel on high. Is any commentary done about this worship of unrealistic feminine standards, of how these girls are not their own people, but rather idealized figures that only exist to serve the desires of men? No! The magical girls have no personality. We got punk, horny, quirky, but those are just aesthetics, not actual characters that change over time or have wants or needs or dreams or anything. All these girls care about is Otaku Hero because he found them naked in a box outside one winter and he's immediately blushing and getting nosebleeds, which is mega gross. That is not your first response when you find a naked person in a box outside. Your response should be, holy fuck, is this person okay? And he's pushing them inside saying, I'm only taking them inside because they'll freeze to death, not because I want to do anything dirty with them. What the fuck are you talking about, you freak? Anyway, he basically raises them after they wake up and they say they're magical girls, and this little red thing is like, yeah, they saw you first, so now you're their parental guardian or master, which makes every other thing in this show super mega fucking gross, especially near the end where Anarchy's like, after the war, I'm gonna tell the otaku hero I love him. What? God! The villain started out as some asshole who hasn't even heard of touching grass, making a video game that no one liked for some reason, because we're never actually given a reason, and why he hates otaku is because all the bad reviews and comments came from otaku, probably because this guy was also an otaku, and that was the culture he was in, but whatever. Anyway, a god named Origin is like, hey, I like your game, and he gives him some, like, color droplets, and he makes them into girls, but also the little red thing that has been with the heroes the whole time and had no explanation was also Origin, who I guess brought the 3 girls to Otaku Hero for some reason. I don't know, most of the show is pretty episodic, and also there's just this one dude who's a gamer, and he's just Bakugo but worse. I'm fairly certain he has the same voice actor. The series ends 2 years after Otaku Hero is killed because the magical girls got turned evil or whatever. TV Head is like, there are still otaku, we gotta get rid of them. And then Otaku Army Part 2 shows up with Otaku Hero II, who's a different guy who picked up the mantle, and TV Man is like, wait, that wasn't in the script. And then he's freaking out, and then the evil magical girls start talking like their old selves, and they go to fight just for fun, I guess, and it ends with this screen, and this is legit where I threw my phone down in pure fucking fury and rage. What the fuck? Why magical girls? What did that specific trope add to the story or its themes? Does this story even have any themes? Because it feels like it doesn't outside of the general idea of people should be able to enjoy the things that they like. Like, yeah, duh, say that in an interesting way, please! Update, cake from the future, but I got my answer as to why magical girls, and I'm even angrier now because what are you talking about, my guy? Magical girls are pure and innocent, so I made some naughty and bad. What? Says who? This feels like how over here in the West, when corporations want to make an adult animated show, they just add a bunch of drug and sex references without taking time to consider if any of it is necessary or even funny. Also, like, the reason most magical girls aren't shown smoking or doing drugs or having sex is because it is a cartoon for children. Literally, most modern magical girls are meant for little girls to enjoy. Of course they are going to be depicted in drug raves and being sexual. What are you talking about? Yeah, this seems like somebody who's only ever seen Madoka Magica. I don't want to be cruel or mean, especially not to the original creator Jun Inagawa, because he seems like a cool guy. In an interview, he tells his story about going to school in America and being introduced to anime over here, visiting Akihabara for the first time. Those are all unique experiences that belong to him that he channeled into his art. And from his Instagram and Twitter, I can see he is a good artist. The fact that he made it this far and could turn this story he's had since high school into a full-blown anime is amazing and should not be understated. But my god, this feels like something a high schooler would make. In that same interview earlier, he says that he feels like we're living in a time where people have their favorite things taken away, and I genuinely cannot figure out what that means. What are you talking about? This is a story about marginalization that never actually goes into the nuances of it or says anything about what that experience is like. As someone part of a few different marginalized groups, I don't get it. This wants to be a love letter to otaku culture and fandom so badly, but it fails because it only ever considers one point of view. Jun Inagawa is undeniably an amazing and influential artist. I really like the work that he does. The mixture of all these different subgenres and subcultures brought together creates a style that exhibits the best of all it came from. His character designs are striking and well done. His art is surreal and bold, but when trying to create an actual story, it falls apart. Side note, but I really want this shirt. This is just perfect. The music was good, the animation was good, even if it did falter a bit at the end. The voice acting was good, the art is good, and I can absolutely see someone enjoying this for the dumb fun of it all, but it's not for me. Because it made me so angry. To try and end on a more positive note, there were things that I liked. The opening sequence, again, is just straight up cool. The compositing really makes it feel like something that came out of the late 90s, early 2000s. The transformation sequences were also really good. Anarchy having a literal transformation bag is a good gag while still keeping the magical girl vibes. And the framing of her taking off her normal clothes to change is perfectly okay too. Like, this is how you do it. Blues is just pure insanity with cool visuals, and I really like how grand Pink's transformation feels. The next episode segments after the end credits are literally just the storyboards from the next episode, and I find that pretty cool. All of the music for the show is cool, and like I said, the original creator seems to be a cool dude. Absolutely no hate to him. To be honest, I'm probably gonna follow his Twitter and Instagram. If you want to read my raw, unfiltered thoughts while watching the series, those are on my Patreon, and, yep, that's the video.